Good Wednesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. You might want to take your coffee outside. This is one of the few times I think you'll be able to say it's August and it's 69 degrees. Nice, cool feeling outside this morning. So enjoy that while we can. We'll get to a high of about 91 later today. The heat index will stay low for us today. That's great news, isn't it? So that's how we're starting this out. I really like that so far. Can't beat that. A lot of things up and coming today. We'll recap everything that happened over the last 24 hours coming up at 7. Don't miss out on that. And what's happening locally. All of that at 7. We'll get into headlines that are shaping America. Howard Stern, what's up with this? News on that on the way also. Let's go to Collinsville now. Let's get our devotion for the day. Let's go to First Baptist.
You know, as parents, we often celebrate many milestones with our children, like first steps, first words, first haircuts, good report cards, sports wins, and of course, graduations. And look, there is great joy in those moments. But Apostle John in 3 John reminds us that nothing compares to the joy of knowing our children are walking in the truth. Here's what he writes. For I rejoice greatly when brothers came and bore witness to your truth, that is, how you're walking in truth. I have no greater joy than this, to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Now, walking in the truth is more than a simple knowledge of right and wrong. It's a daily, deliberate life that's aligned with the Word of God. And if we want to see our children live this kind of life, we can't go about it passively. No, this sort of result only comes from intentional parenting, instructing, modeling, praying, correcting, encouraging. We teach that truth through both our words and our lives, right? We read scripture with them and we explain God's ways, but we also apply His truth daily to our lives, living that truth out with integrity and grace in everyday moments. Beloved, look, children are always learning, and if we don't shape them with truth, then the world will shape them with lies. So train them up we must. Now, this task can feel overwhelming, but you're never alone in it. God walks with us. It won't be easy, but in the end, by God's grace, you will have the same joy Apostle John experienced. The joy of hearing that your children are walking in the truth. And look, there is no greater joy, and may that joy be yours. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. One thing I want to remind you of, we just posted this of just how, I guess the word is froggy. This is out by the Mississippi Highway Patrol office, if you haven't seen this yet. Now, that's thick, very thick, so be careful where you're going. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at radar this morning and what we have here. A lot of it. Lauderdale County, Clark County, not as bad as it could be as we look here, especially this eastern portion all the way up to West Lauderdale area. As we go northward, look at this, how bad this gets on Highway 39, Highway 493, 495, Highway 16. And the further north you go, the worse it's going to get. Highway 397 as that heads toward Louisville. Highway 21, all this area toward, and then 15 as it goes northward here. This is some very, very serious fog that we've got this morning. If you're traveling anywhere on 14 out of Louisville over to Macon, be careful. Points north on 25. It is thick. Goes up through Ackerman and these areas all the way up to Mississippi State. As we look down through this, just use caution wherever you got to go. The Indian Mountains, it's thick up in Linville, Preston area. It's going to be rough as you travel these roads from 21 to 495 that we mentioned before. You'll get out of the clear 16 west as you get toward Leake County and those areas, but otherwise, East Mississippi has got some fog this morning. And let's go back and look at this. Livingston, Alabama, I didn't talk about this much, but as we get into Gilberttown, Butler, Alabama, Lisbon, Pennington, these areas have a lot of it as well. As you get up near Bologee, Gainesville still has a little bit there as we look at all of this. So Epps, Alabama, hard to see. Even Geiger over at Kim Waste is still thick this morning. So areas of caution must be used today as you're out and about traveling where you've got to go. I mentioned a moment ago, and we'll get to the forecast in just a little while. Could it be? That's what they're saying as we start to hear stories this morning coming out that Howard Stern is going to be canceled soon after 20 years of being on Sirius XM. They're claiming it's due to business considerations, potential influence by political views. We'll follow that as more information comes out of it. They haven't given a date when it will go away, but it's starting to look like there's something to that. So we'll watch it closely, let you know what becomes of that, of what is said on all of that. Lola, good morning. Good to see you joining us. Mark, Sheila is up with us as well. As we start looking at what's happening around the nation today, a Washington State, which is the extreme northwestern corner of the U.S. of A., a rock went through an ice window, and I'm talking ICE agents. It was soon after the building would be set on fire. I don't believe any arrests have been made yet. Naughty, naughty. This is you heard it was coming. Now, again, I don't think this has happened locally yet, but they said it would. This is the first that I'm aware of. Truck drivers. Y'all with me? Those who can't speak English. 2 tickets have been given already because they were stopped. They were operating 80,000 pounds of super dangerous stuff, and they couldn't communicate with anyone. Couldn't read English, couldn't speak English. They've been ticketed. Do you agree? Disagree?
Huge problem.
It is a huge problem. Y'all just don't know. They can't read signs, bridges, weights. It's danger. There was a movement a while back, and I think y'all remember this, where it was a shortage of truck drivers, and they were basically sticking anybody behind the wheel. This is the first. We'll see how it happens. This was in Georgia where this happened. It wasn't I doubt California would ever do that. But Georgia has issued the first 2 tickets on that. I think I need to just show this. Homeland Security, well, they've got a sense of humor about them. I just thought we should share this straight from their X account. I don't know any other way to do this. This is their post this morning. And what they're commenting on is think about how many criminal, illegal aliens you could fit into this big bad boy. And they're showing how illegal aliens cross is. Want to deport illegals with your absolute boys. We're your absolute boys. That's coming from Homeland Security, who apparently does have a sense of humor there as they show that. Let's see. BP has made its biggest oil discovery within the last 25 years, as everyone is shifting now back to fossil fuel. Wow. It's right off Brazil coast is where they have located this. It's going to be big. I remember when this happened. I don't remember the exact year, but this has been a slow process of when people are caught and when they end up in court. We all know how that happens. It was a security guard that worked... let me see the exact place he worked for the sports memorabilia. That's a tough word to say this early, y'all. In Florida. Before that, he worked for 25 years as a Miami police officer. So this guy was not just somebody off the street. He was a police officer that worked for Miami for 25 years, went on to work security. From there, he would steal over $2 million worth of stolen jerseys and resell them. He sold one for $100,000. It was valued at $3 million. He has officially been charged with stealing them. It took it, again, it's sentencing and all of this will head to court before long, but he has been officially charged with all of this. Which proves sometimes, no matter how you screen people, there's no way to catch the bad guy until he makes a move. Was a good guy, got influenced by money, apparently. Maybe he was dirty the whole time. We don't know the rest of the story. That has happened before. But he has been caught and will face for this. Stanford University, they're laying off 360 employees. They're citing, well, it was Trump's fault. Okay, if y'all say so. I heard wind of this, and I really didn't dig into it until this morning, and it made me absolutely furious. And it should you as well. How many are watching are Americans? There are many people that have moved to our nation as an immigrant, become a United States citizen, are very proud of who they are. Those of you who were born here, it's wonderful For those of you who were even born in the South, I think that's even a better thing. You were one of the chosen few, weren't you? Y'all know what I mean by that. I go to, and let me show you her picture. I went to, just so it's no mistaking of who she is and where she's from. This is a representative, a U.S. American politician, U.S. representative from Illinois. She's a member of the squad. She's a Democrat. Let me show you her picture. Here she is right here. Della Ramirez, I believe it's
We'll go with that.
pretty close. We'll have to go with that name there. Now, what has she done that is so bad? Well, as we read the article, she was in Mexico City over the weekend. Nothing wrong with that, giving a speech. And she told the crowd, I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American. Now let that sink in. She told the crowd that she was more proud to be Guatemalan than she was to be an American, and she puts it first. She is a representative in America. Let you think on that this morning. This is, I almost said I feel for her father before I done this story. But I watch what he does, and, well, he's off the deep end, too. And I guess it's influence like that leads to a child doing this. And where I'm going is, and I call her a child, she's a grown woman now. I think we all loved her as Hannah Montana. It was a good, wholesome part. Dolly Parton was her, what do you call that? Godmother.
Yeah.
And mentor. And then somewhere something happened, and she started riding balls that she has just posed completely nude for a magazine photo shoot. And she said that while doing it, it made her feel powerful. The spread was to show her tattoos.
Oh, of course.
Hate I'm going to miss that because it's not anything for me to look at. But think, really, how can... Maybe other parents look at things different than I do. It's not something you go, oh, look at my baby. She's on the front of...
Yeah. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah. This one, I don't know that anyone... I didn't catch this. This happened a couple of days ago, and it slid past me. Because there's often scraps in the streets of America, and I don't always catch all of them. Do you remember the guy that worked for Doge? Who worked for Elon Musk? He was 19 years old, and he was the one that they praised that he was so smart. 19 years old. They gave him a nickname, and I'll be cautious of... some would say it and some won't, but they called him Big Blank. He was really good at his job. He was in Washington, and this has prompted Donald Trump to say that he is getting ready to enforce law in Washington, D.C. This young man was walking down the street, and from what I understand, it was a woman being attacked. He stepped in to help, and he was beat by 8 teens. Now, I'm going to show this strictly from this, and this comes from, I want to say, the Hodge twins have shared this, and a lot of other groups have done this. This is Patriots Win, is this, and this is a picture of him where he worked with Elon, and then a picture of him at the scene where he was beaten. And we'll just make this quick, but he was hurt. 8 people jumped him. 19 years old, woman getting beat. There's 8 of them. What would you do? He stepped up to the plate. And I didn't say that he won. There's 8-1. There's absolutely no way to...
Did he save her?
Well, yes, she was saved. Here's something else that's coming out of this. I'm not sure if y'all all know Senator Mike Lee. He is calling for President Trump to award him the Medal of Freedom. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking Americans to get hurt. But it sure makes you proud when you see somebody stand up when the odds are against them, isn't it? The little guy taking up for somebody that needed help. You know why? Because it was the right thing to do. It's bad that happened to him, and I do hope that this will bring attention to a lawless place in America. We have several cities like this. It was another kid that worked for Doge, if y'all remember, that was stabbed not long ago. Do y'all remember that? I think he passed away, if I remember. Arlington National Cemetery, if y'all remember back in 20 when things were being taken down, they're going to reinstate the Confederate memorial that was there as reconciliation. It was taken down. It's being reinstalled now. Hulk Hogan has been laid to rest in Florida, if you weren't aware of that. He was carried by many, many others of his wrestling confederation. They helped out with that. He's been laid to rest at the place where he was baptized. I know there was a lot of people picking on Hulk, but he did turn his life around at the end, and we're proud of that. Never forget that. So long as there's breath left in that body, there is a chance for you. I know I'm pointing. I don't need to do that. Got carried away. 2 hikers have been rescued. All too many times I have to tell you stories of people that went hiking and, well, things went awry and they didn't make it out. This time they did. The rising tide cut off where they were. They were able to make a phone call and were rescued. We're glad of that. That was in California where that took place. Now, how many times have you ever heard the saying that if you're a juror, you can't talk about it? Has anybody really ever been convicted of that? Well, it's happened now. Karen Reed, I don't know if y'all remember that murder. They had a lady that was in the jury box. She leaked all types of information. Now, what happens in the end? This is the sentence that she will get for leaking information out to this. She has agreed to a sentence of incarceration for 1 day. She will have 24 months of supervised release. Her scheduling will officially be the 26th of September, but that is the plea deal that she has taken. She'll serve 1 day in jail and then basically be monitored for 24 months. Is that strong enough? Y'all tell me. Ghislaine Maxwell, remember her, the Epstein files? She said during her interview that she saw nothing that Trump did that was concerning ever. Those files may be released as of yet. We'll wait to see what becomes of all of that. Who's on the list? It won't look good for some, I'm sure. A wife stands by. We all remember Tammy Wynette's Stand By Your Man. There was a little town in Indiana called Delphi. There was 2 little girls that were murdered. I won't go into how they were murdered because it hurts my soul to even talk about it. They were murdered. Before one of them passed away, in the background, they had Snapchat. And I think it was Snapchat. It was one of those like that. They took a picture of themselves, and way in the background behind them was a man lurking. Was it the murderer? Well, as it progressed, we did have a guy that was watching TV. This was his story that night. He goes, "Oh, I saw those 2 little girls while I was out walking today." He supposedly went to police, told them that he was there. He was forgotten about for about 1.5 years, 2 years of his statement. He was arrested and charged with the murder, and after a good while, he confessed to it. His wife says he's no monster. And that's where I come up with that Stand By Your Man. She says he's no monster, and that after being held for so long, he admitted to something that he really didn't do. They said they have the man. I would have to know all the details and sit on that jury to know before I could honestly say one way or the other. And there may be incriminating evidence that I'm not aware of that's deep involved in this. Some of you may have already known more about it than I do. I looked this up, and basically I've been seeing this come out, and they're trying to call it some type of COVID. Legionaries. It's a form of a cold. And it's going through New York City. 3 people have died from it. Many others are, they say 67 people have it. Wash your hands. Be careful what you do. Always stay away from somebody sick. Let's don't panic and get our nation into another debacle. Do the right thing. The Department of Justice is seeking hate crime charges in the killing of an Israel embassy staffer. And they probably should. That is most likely what went on with that. We see that there was a plane crash. This would happen late yesterday. 4 people. This was Arizona where this happened. A medical transport airplane went down and caught fire. Crashed Tuesday afternoon there. Navajo Nation. Awful, awful. Those trying to take someone medical care. Pray for those families as those things happen. I'm not sure what caused the flight to crash. Federal aviation, this is good news for a lot of you, and it really may help us in the end. As how many packages are delivered to your home during the course of a week? There's a lot of Americans that do more of that now than they actually drive into town. They feel safer about it. But it looks as though they're getting ready to expand this drone package delivery service. What y'all think? I mean, right to your front door. It would cut back the truck time. We might need to buy some stock into that, Odie. You take a look around and see where we need to buy that. I can see this. It will eventually be, and you're going to laugh, sort of the Jetson style thing. Y'all remember how things were? We are headed into a new frontier, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It really is. AI, things that are being developed that are smarter than a lot of us. Man alive. Who ever thought they would have a car that could crank up by itself, back up, and park itself, parallel park? I watched it. I honestly watched it, and I thought, well, cool beans. The lady, and we'll see where this goes. I can remember listening to Charlie Daniels, I'm a simple man, just take him out to a swamp, tie him to a stump, let the rattlers and the alligators do the rest. Y'all remember Charlie Daniels' song? Well, they're doing this. Matthew Perry, the guy that was on Friends, you remember him? Died of a drug overdose. How do you pronounce this drug? Ketamine? Ketamine?
Yeah.
The lady that sold him that is facing trial now. She's accused of selling him the dose that killed him. Should the person that sells the drug also be charged? I think so. And follow that up with the person that they got from that. It's something I'm afraid that will never be cut out in America. There's too many people that are addicted to this stuff. ESPN is getting ready to acquire the NFL Network. They said that they're going to make watching football an even better experience.
Yeah, I believe that.
You got some land of where you're selling to, if you believe that. This is 1972. We go back to there. A 4-year-old little boy was found under a bridge. They knew absolutely nothing of who he was. He was murdered. That's how it went down. After years and years of not knowing, they've made a DNA discovery, and they tracked back and figured out who he was. They found his name out. From there, they discovered who his mother was and who his stepfather was. And what they are saying at this point is the mother has passed away, the stepfather has passed away since then. They highly suspect that the mother took the life of that 4-year-old little boy that they have found, which has now caused them to look for a 6-month-old brother that he had that they have no idea. They suspect he is deceased as well. June 13th, 1972, in Lorton, Virginia. Isn't that sad? His name was Carl Matthew Bryant. Poor little fella. You look to your parents for answers, not for somebody that will hurt you. New Jersey has reached a deal with DuPont Paint. They're getting $2 billion for an environmental rump row that happened over the course of a lot of years. $2 billion there. They've had a bust in Las Vegas at the airport. She was trying to smuggle Mary Jane upon it. She had 59 pounds. How do you smuggle 59 pounds on an airplane? In a carry-on? She didn't know how to do it either, like I would, and she was caught.
Oh.
That's some years in jail, I think. My, oh my. That's a few of the headlines happening this morning. We got to get to weather. I didn't got carried away. We got so much more to talk about. We're going to do weather next, and we'll be right back with that. The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a Z71 2500 HD? Or maybe you're looking for the Ford F-150 with lots of leg room in it. Plenty of SUVs like the Explorer for the family. Or if you're looking for a gas saver to go back and forth to work, come by and see the mini cars like this Nissan.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
On a hot day chasing crime in Meridian, to make a man thirsty, there's no better way than an ice-cold Coca-Cola to quench your thirst.
Or an ice-cold Diet Coke if you prefer that flavor.
No matter where you're at, stop by a local store and support that store and Meridian Coca-Cola. They're supporting us every day.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Those record highs, record lows back in 51, we had a high of 102 today. Far from that today, 91 is expected. By the record low of the year was 1948. It was 58 degrees. We have nothing from Jackson yet on the temperatures. As we go to Alabama, 88 there in Demopolis. We'll see 86 in Birmingham. Auburn set to be 86 today. Not bad weather anywhere in Alabama there. As we glance across, it's a little bit of a break there as we see that hot weather starting to enter the western side of Texas, making its way toward the deep south. We'll watch that. It's coming. We get a quick little break from it. 91 today, 91 tomorrow as well. Slight chances of rain all the way through Friday. Over the weekend, we'll increase this to a 40% chance of rain and carry that all the way through Tuesday. Highs will be right at 90 to 92, somewhere along in there. But we should have a good weekend overall. As we move forward through the August the 20th, the month's getting away from us. Rain chances will hover at roughly 20%, highs of about 91 to 93. And we'll have nighttime lows somewhere around 72 for the next 2 weeks. As we go to our fishing times today, the best time to hit the water, Clarkdale Super Rep brings you that every day. We'll be at 9:47 this morning, right at 10 o'clock through noon. You've got another minor time at 6 through 7 p.m. tonight. If you're going to be out fishing, that'll be the time to do it. Sunrise happened at 6:12 this morning. Sunset will roll in at 7:48. Now, as we look at this, Dexter is starting to fade away. We've got a 40% chance of this happening in the Atlantic, as well as this coming off the coast of Africa, still set at 50%. That should probably change a little bit later today, and we'll watch the National Hurricane Center for all of that to let you know. A quick recap of what we've got going on with all of this fog this morning. Be careful, leave it a little bit early. We've got a lot of it as we look at radar. As we go back to Doc's Toyota, that radar there shows it all. We got a lot of fog through Scuba. We got it through York, Alabama, northern Lauderdale County and eastern Lauderdale County, and thick all the way through northern and western Kemper County, right through Winston up to Stark, Vegas. If you got kids up there, tell them to be careful this morning. As we look down to the south there, Centronelle, Alabama, if you're going through there, over to Thomasville, Alabama, Monroeville, any of those areas down toward Mobile, be careful. We got fog and more fog. We're going to be right back as we bring you the morning show. About a minute late is what we'll be due to me running my mouth a little too much. I'm sorry about that, y'all. We'll be right back as we'll kick into all things local beginning at 7 at the Scotty Ray Report.